What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another War Thunder video. Today we're taking a look at the F2H-2 Banshee. This plane comes in from multiple requests. I'm noticing a lot of requests, not just on my channel for this plane, but also if I take a look at almost any other War Thunder YouTuber's channel, there's all kinds of requests for this plane. And one of the things you'll notice right off the bat is the very interesting custom camo that I've got on here. This plane was introduced in War Thunder in December of 2014 in patch 1.45, and I played it a lot at that time, but then I just stayed away from it because of its very low battle rating. It was just unfair to fly it, and well, I decided to give it another shot because people have been requesting it, and I decided to throw on this oddball camo because, well, it's just peculiar. It's based on a photo that was taken in the early 50s of a Banshee that had landed on the wrong carrier. It was fairly common, as I understand it, to tag, if you will, an aircraft that was visiting on another aircraft carrier. So you'll notice all kinds of inscriptions on here, like "What's up, Doc?" "Fouled up, must be Air Force." "I want to be you, Banshee." I actually like the U-Banshee one because it actually gives you an opportunity to look up the U-Banshees and find out what aircraft that they flew. The U-Banshees were stationed on the aircraft carrier that this particular Banshee had landed on, the USS Wasp, and they flew everything that you tend to think of as far as naval aircraft. Everything from the Grumman Hellcat to the Bearcat, the Corsair, the Banshee, and of course once you get into the Cold War, you'll find all kinds of Cold War era jets that they flew, such as the Cutlass, the Skyhawk, and the Corsair too. It's unlikely that most of these, or really any of these jets, are going to be introduced into War Thunder. One of the issues that you have to deal with when you talk about Cold War era jets is homing missiles, and I believe the Sidewinder was in fact a homing missile of some type. I think it's maybe a semi-homing missile, I don't remember. But it's unlikely we're going to get that. I believe the Skyhawk had the Sidewinders. Not sure off the top of my head what those other Cold War jets had as far as armament, but anything in the 50s you're dealing with possibly homing missiles and computers and stuff that War Thunder doesn't want to deal with as much. Now, as far as flying the Banshee, I'm not by any means a jet jockey. I'm not an expert on this aircraft. However, I have just enough knowledge to be dangerous, and that's what we're going to explore in this video. When I fly Banshee or I fly other jets that face the Banshee, I usually find that the Banshee pilots that die most often do one of three things. And this is in no particular order, mind you. Number one, they fully commit to a head-on. If you're going to commit to a head-on, you might as well just bail out of your plane because you're not likely going to survive that encounter. If you're going to do a head-on, do a quick shot and roll out of the way. Avoiding the enemy's head-on attempt. The second issue that I usually see with Banshee pilots is that they have an issue with compression. The Banshee is a very heavy aircraft, relatively speaking, and it doesn't have very strong elevator authority. So when you get going into a dive and you pick up a lot of speed, the Banshee doesn't like to pull up. It compresses very badly. It doesn't respond to elevator authority very well, and you all often see Banshee pilots crash. So be very mindful of your speed when you go into a dive and get anywhere near the ground. Always watch your altimeter. As for the third thing that Banshee pilots tend to do badly and screw up, it's turn fighting. Banshee pilots tend to turn fight everything. You see me right here engage into a very brief turn fight, and that's it. I take my shot and then I get out of there. I happened to kill him, but if I hadn't killed him, I would have done the same thing. I would have turned off, got level, picked up speed, and got the hell out of there. Whenever you turn fight, and it doesn't matter if you're flying props or jets, but whenever you turn fight, you lose speed. And when you're flying jets, speed is so incredibly important. You need to be fast. You need to be in a good energy state. If you're not, you're screwed. If you get in, what I often see happen is people get into a long drawn out turn fight like they're flying, like an A6M2 or something like that, a very early Japanese prop. That's a turn fighter. This is not. This is a heavy gal. This thing's got some weight to her. You do not want to be throwing this around in a turn fight. You can probably turn fight MiG-15. I have done that, but generally speaking, I don't like to turn fight in the Banshee because it's just not to be used like that. It's a boom and zoomer, much like a Focke-Wulf. In this match, there are no German MiG-15s. This is what I would call a typical German match. You got your Arados, your Me-262s, your Hortons, occasionally it will face a Me-163. The scariest plane to face is the 163, at least in my experience. The 163's got a problem with ripping its wings, and what I tend to do is actually exploit that issue and put the plane into a dive. And when the 163 gets closer, usually within 500, 600, 700 meters, I'll usually put my Banshee into a vertical, downward actually, with a twist, so that he puts so much force on his wings that he actually rips his wings. It's very dangerous to let that 163 get on your tail that close, within just a couple hundred meters. But it's worked for me. I caused the last two of the three last 163s to rip their wings, trying to engage me like that. And you'll notice I'm keeping a very close eye on these two guys. They're up here engaging the AI, because that's just what people do on this map. I guess they'll do anything for an extra RP or a silver lion. The Arado is the one that I'm most concerned with, because he does have guns. It's a C3 model. However, he doesn't seem to have much of an interest in me. 262 is definitely a concern. I don't want to get into a long, drawn-out turn fight, but here I'm not in any threat. The Arado has posed no threat to me whatsoever. And I see this thing has no elevator authority. I want to turn around and go after that with 262, but I decided to pull off. The safest bet is for me to pull off and let my teammates deal with that 262. Anytime I have multiple targets at altitude, I'm always debating which one to go for. Do I go for the Arado, or do I turn around and help my teammates with the 262? He unfortunately takes out one of my teammates, and I'm forced to contemplate where to go, what to do. My hope was to get the Arado to turn around. Sometimes if you fly towards someone when you're following them like this, they'll turn around and do a head-on. That was not the case with the Arado. He still has his bombs. He wanted to go bomb the main base. Not that was going to do anything, because a couple of bombs that the Arado has, it's not going to put barely a dent into the base. However, that's easy RP, easy lions. That's really what all some people are interested in getting. And if you're new to a particular plane, you want to get those upgrades. So I can understand why you would do that. But at the same time, his team needs him over here. They need his guns. They need him to be over here supporting their fighters. Because right now they just lost one of their best fighters, the Horton. The Horton is very dangerous. It's a remarkable turn fighter. At low speeds, at high speeds, it will rip its wings just like the 163 does. And of course, we got Chamberlin here with the 262 again, contemplating what to do. Admittedly, I was a little nervous because I wasn't quite sure of his energy state. I hadn't been paying too close of attention to him. There we get the Arado dropping its bombs on the base. With the 262 down low, I decided to put it into a bit of a splash, pick up some extra speed, and pursue him. Chamberlin sees me, puts his plane into a shallow dive, and then makes one of the dumbest decisions that he could make. He decides to turn right in front of me. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to turn fight the 262 in that particular situation. Just like with my first kill, that particular kill, I wasn't going to turn fight for more than just a couple of seconds. And that's all I would recommend those of you who are looking to fly the Banshee to do. Just turn fight for just a couple of seconds. If you don't get your kill, just continue on straight. Don't get suckered into a long, drawn-out turn fight. Even if you happen to be turn fighting against something that's equal to you in terms of performance, when you get into a long turn fight, you drop so much speed that you make yourself vulnerable to an enemy teammate. He could come in and snapshot you, and you wouldn't even see him because you're so focused on the guy that you're turn fighting. And this is one of the reasons I don't like turn fighting in jets, just in general. Even if I'm in like a meteor or something that's very good in turn fighting, it just makes you so vulnerable in those long turn fights that I just don't like to do them if I can get around it. The Dorado is the last guy alive on their team, if I recall correctly. And he really should have been over here earlier. You know, I mentioned a couple of minutes ago that instead of dropping his bombs, he should have been over here helping his team. Well, now he's all alone. He's having to deal with multiple targets. He does have cannons, though. Remember, this is a C3 model Dorado, so he does have the forward-facing cannons. So he clearly is a threat. However, he's completely outnumbered at this point. And the Dorado is not... It's not a great plane. It's an okay plane. It's what I would refer to as a support plane, at least as far as attacking. It just isn't good enough to handle the particular situation that he's in now. He's against 9 Allied fighters. Now, I admit American and British teams have a certain level of notoriety for how awful they can be. But there's no way in hell we're gonna lose to one fucking Dorado. I can guarantee it. It's just a matter of time, and I know he's getting close. I blow all my energy here trying to get a nice little snapshot, but I just could not pull it off. Just couldn't get my plane in the position that I want to. And here you can see the poor elevator authority. I'm actually close enough to get a couple of shots downrange, get a little hit, but no dice, nothing critical. So he's just going to continue to do this. There's not a whole lot he can do at this point. It's just a matter of time before we eventually catch up to him. I mean, he's against nine enemy fighters, and he doesn't have much of an advantage in anything at this particular moment. He's got just enough altitude that he's out of gun range, but that's all going to be history in just a matter of seconds because he's going to end up turning around, and we're going to do something stupid. We're going to blow all of our energy trying to go for the kill shot. You can see my speed just dropping like a rock, trying to get that kill shot. Just can't quite get it. And there, all my speed's gone. Come on, plane. Trying to get it to go where I want. It's no elevator authority at this speed. Come on, damn it. But he's also blowing his energy. He's blowing so much energy, he's actually within shooting distance. And there I fireball him and get a pile out. It's all in one shot. Now, I wouldn't have done this whole maneuver of blowing my energy if there were other fighters in the area. But this was the last guy. There was no need to fret over wasted energy. I was really in no danger whatsoever. If you're in the middle of a game and there's still half a dozen guys left, then I would say don't do something like that. Don't waste all your energy. But in the situation I was in, it was perfectly safe. Remember, when you're flying the Banshee, it's not a turn fighter. It's an energy fighter and boom zoomer. Fly it like a Focke-Wulf, not an A6M2 for crying out loud. Can't begin to explain how many times I see Banshee pilots die because they're turn fighting. It doesn't matter if it's arcade or realistic. I see it happen everywhere. If you can't land your kill shot within the first second or two in a turn, just disengage. I tried to show that a little bit in some of the kills in this particular video. Anyway, guys, I thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please click that thumbs up button. And of course, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Take care, guys.